Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen to another Total War replay. Right now the Asur has come for Altdorf and none but Volkmar the Grim have chosen to stand in their way. The Empire being led by Icepower is up against the High Elves being led by Nomru. And for the Empire's army, we of course have Volkmar on his chariot with all of his goodies with banishment and all those lovely buffs that he gets. We have the Light Wizard coming in with Phos Protection, Net of Amnantok, and Briona's Time Warp. We have some great cannons in the back, kind of protected by some spearmen, and we have a kind of lineup of Empire Knights, 4 of those. We have some Flagellants flanking the Sigmar Sons up front, a couple handgunners behind them, and the Silver Bullets as well. And on the far side, looks like we have some more spearmen kind of just hiding on the far flanks. And for the High Elves, we have kind of just a mix of kind of lower tier infantry. We have 4 units of Rangers. We have some mix of spearmen in between them. We have a line of archers in the back. When we have some 4 units of Silver Helms, and they are being led by Teclis, flanked by his noble. Teclis is rocking Regrowth, Flock of Doom. Regrowth, Flock of Doom, Net of Amnantok, and we have, of course, he has his Potion of Koroi, and we have a Mage of Metal with Plague of Rust. And now we shall get this battle underway in the full extent as the cannons have already started firing into one of the units of Silver Helms. And now we have both armies kind of moving up just the front line of the Empire. Not a full lot up there for staying power, though, as the Silver Helms will be getting kind of a free charge in. Not really a whole lot to turn, as now the handgunners, though, are going to be turning and firing a Net of Amnantok also going down, so they are going to be taking a lot of damage here from those 2 units of handgunners with that net down. So much for that free charge that I believe Nomru was expecting there, but the net and the overwhelming firepower has done quite the number on them. So very good first picks by the Empire, though they should be very wary about their front line. They do not have much of it. Now the Empire Knights are starting to move up, getting a charge off onto the Rangers themselves. We have a Soulfire Bombardment coming down from Volkmar into the midst of these Rangers, doing good damage, but now the Noble and Teclis are kind of pushing him back, though he would be able to stay in combat for a fair bit. Now the line of archers are now in range of the Empire's ranged units, and they are doing a number on the Silver Bolts as they are all focusing them down. That is really their kind of big target to go for. And some of the Cav are now going to try and start kind of getting their way in, getting a charge off onto the Rangers, who are doing very well against the Flagellants. Both are very much damage dealers. One unit of Empire Knights is starting to waver from the focus fire. It looks like we have a banishment coming down in the back lines of the High Elves, and that is going to be doing some good damage depending on how it moves. Should be doing very good indeed. It looks like it'll clip some of the routing Rangers, and it's kind of shadowing this one unit, but it looks like for the most part they will be dodging it. Looks like we have a Plague of Rust on this far unit of Empire Knights, minus 60 armor, doing very well. So now those Silver Helms are going to be doing very damage, and that one unit of Empire Knights is right on the white line, so if they rout, they will be gone extremely fast, so that's very dangerous for that unit. Volkmar the Grim, though, is kind of running amok amongst the back line. Teclis is chasing him down, but so far Volkmar is really giving him the business. Of course, he has the Grand Hammer of Sigmar procced as well, getting him an additional 24 bonuses. But the Potion of Koroi is also procced on Teclis, so he's getting 44% miss, just general damage resistance. And now, with the introduction of the Noble to that engagement, Volkmar will be pulling out and letting kind of his range units do the line. But I believe the another net has been dropped. I see where that went down. It might have been it was the Net of Amnantok that looks like they were able to charge in nonetheless and get these handgunners, but the back unit of Silver Bullets are still firing in, doing some good damage. I believe Icepower would have liked that net to gone down just a bit earlier, so both units of handgunners could have been firing in, but at least he was able to prevent them from doing too much. Volkmar again is standing alone amongst the tide of the High Elves, but he is getting netted himself now with Enfeeling Foe, so now he is down minus 24 melee attack. So that Noble is going to be doing very good damage to him. These Empire Knights should really be pulling over, kind of protecting him, because yes, he's got that regen, but what good will that regen do if he is not around to use it? It looks like those Empire Knights are now going to be going more towards the archer units, but the Flock of Doom has hit both of them. Now Volkmar is finally starting to pull out after that net has worn off. On the front line engagement, now we have a couple spearmen kind of holding back these two, but the front line engagement has pretty much wiped out both of the front lines, because both of the units had brought kind of those damage dealers, the Flagellants and the Rangers, and both sides are very low health on those. The Flagellants are able just to hold out as long as they can, because even one unit here that is left, since they are unbreakable, will be able to hold back this entire unit of Rangers and even these Silver Helms, which are currently engaging them. Now the Light Wizard is kind of alone as the Noble circles around her on horseback, though now we have actually three units of handgunners firing in. It'll be very good, and a banishment also going down. Is clipping the Spearman unit, doing very well. As it will do a little bit of friendly fire as it hits this, the Empire Spearman as well, but routing off the Silver Helms and this unit Spearman, probably very good trade there. And another net going down on this Noble here, as the handguns are just opening up on this stationary target, doing some very good damage. Though still, looks like the Sigmar Sons have kind of started to engage the archers, but they are very low. They only have 16 models left. I mean, if these Rangers are turned around, they could quickly finish them off and then turn their attention onto the ranged units of the Empire. And the Noble is still trying to hound Volkmar as the handgunners try to get some shots in, maybe doing a little bit of friendly fire on Volkmar, but still doing very good damage, as the Noble is now terrified from Volkmar as he has terror. So he'll be back in just a few seconds here, but he is very low as well. They're kind of both sitting at similar HP pools. It looks like the balance of power is a little bit in the Empire's favor, but it's still very much too early to tell. Teclis now has been pretty much sitting in the back, as he's been taking a pretty good pounding from the earlier matches, just kind of getting that magic regen. He's actually using Potion of Koroi to get a little bit of health back. But right now, kind of getting up, maybe getting the regrowth on this Noble will really kind of boost him up towards his healing cap if he is able to survive the onslaught that is Volkmar. And the Light Wizard is also running tandem with them. Could possibly get another net down, though without the support of the handgunners to be in immediate range. It's probably not a very effective use of the Wind's magic that they have left. Now it looks like the Empire are now going to be pulling back their last unit of frontline troops to kind of at least just stay away from these archers. The archers, one unit is very, very low on ammo. The other two have a decent amount left, enough to kind of make a difference here. And one more unit that is coming back is fairly high on ammo, but they are very low on model count. So right now, I'd say in the ranged department, the Empire is still sitting pretty. But this little goon squad here that the Noble and Teclis have now kind of converged on Volkmar. Volkmar is probably not going to want to stick around too much for that. Though they do have a little bit of infantry support, as now Teclis kind of pulls back. Looks like Volkmar, though, is getting netted down. He has the Grand Hadronar Sigmar active, but he is netted and takes some very good damages from the rear from the Noble, and he is now reaching his healing cap, as Teclis is kind of healing up as well with another Potion of Koroi. And we also have Foz Protection also going down, trying to preserve Volkmar as he tries to survive the onslaught of the Noble and Teclis, and also the incoming fire. And now another net goes down, catching a lot of the High Elf army. We have the Noble, Teclis, the Mage of Metal, and a unit of archers all netted down from that overcast. So if we have the handgunners are in range, so they'll be able to keep firing in, probably target down that Noble first, get him off the field completely. Looks like that is indeed the case. He is very, very, very low, and then as soon as the Noble is down, and there he goes, probably to change their focus over to Teclis. But right now, with the only melee engagement being the Spearmen here, I'd say definitely the High Elves are now kind of sitting in a little bit better position than they were earlier. now, especially considering the silver bullets are almost on their last ammo. The other handgunner unit isn't exactly sitting too well either, but we still have Volkmar standing tall in the middle, but he is at his healing cap, so any damage he takes will not be coming back. Though the handguns have done a very good amount of work, though they are now being shut down by a unit of spearmen. The light wizard trying to help do as much damage as they can, but I'm guessing these handgunners is going to be, actually they are able to push off those spearmen. That is very good for them indeed, is allowing that handgunners to fire in, hopefully finish off Teclis here, as Volkmar now charges in to try and do the finishing blow. As now Teclis is terrified, and he is now routing as well. A few more shots might be able to shatter him completely. It'll be a very big end. Now Teclis goes down as the Empire pulls drastically in favor on the balance of power. Now there's only a few units left, but it looks like army losses are starting to take their toll, and now the High Elves will rout, and the Empire will take it for Sigmar, and that will be all for that match. Very good matchup indeed. Yes, and Volkmar definitely carrying his weight there with 161 kills with all his buffs, Grand Soul Fire Bombardments, Banishments, the works, doing very good work. The kind of the archers as well on the High Elf side are actually doing fairly well. I think the Rangers traded very well against the front line of the Empire. Kind of the Flatulence would have traded fairly decently. The Unbreakable really helped them, though, hold that front line. Having those three units, even though they were a little outmatched, they weren't routing, so they were able to keep those frontline units engaged and allow their handgun unit to continue firing in. So it was a very, very good match indeed. So thank you all for watching, and have a good one.